Jeanne Omlor shares how she went from struggling single mom in Paris to coaching high-level CEOs, all without paid ads. Her message to rebels? Stop waiting to be ready. You don't need fixing. You can start right now. This episode of The Rebel Rebel is brought to you by my book, Brand Jitsu. All right, forget brand theory. This is branding that punches above its weight. After 25 years helping artists, entrepreneurs, and businesses stand out, I wrote Brand Jitsu. Move your brand from meh to memorable. It's the real stuff, story, strategy, and sharp positioning that makes people pay attention. Find it at your favorite bookstore or online at brandjitsu.com. Welcome to The Rebel Rebel. I'm your host, Michael Dargie, and somewhere around the world, we're going to find out where, is Jeanne Omlor. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, Michael. That was a beautiful pronunciation.
Yes, I've been practicing. It's such a beautiful name. How could I get it wrong?
That's right.
So Jeanne, why don't you sort of catch us up real quick? Where are you in the world? Let's start there, just so we can geolocate.
Sure. I live in Clearwater, Florida, on the bay.
Oh, very nice. Okay. And you survived the onslaught of the season, the weather?
Exactly. We were very lucky because we're on the bay side and not the beach side. So we had no damage at all. Well, a little bit of damage, but no damage in the actual, living quarters. There was like some damage outside, but not a lot. Yeah.
Oh, good. So catch us up. What is it that Jeanne does in the world and right now, what's sort of on your plate?
Well, I have been coaching for 13 years. For the last 5, it's been helping coaches and consultants to get more clients online without ads for their high ticket offers. And that's all sorts of, even some healers, coaches, consultants, healers, some service providers. I also have a very high level offer for like top CEOs, which is more like word of mouth and, by appointment only. So, well, good question. What's on my heart is that my purpose is to help people to thrive. So I'm just feeling like I'm getting more and more closer and closer to making that more of a purpose and to helping more people. Cause I also want to do some kind of offer for people that don't have an investment of a high ticket to work with me. So I'm not there yet. I'm trying to figure out what does that look like, because my driver is really to help people to thrive. I'm emotionally connected to that because I didn't thrive for a long time. And then you come out thriving, you want to help other people.
Okay. Well, and so to describe, what does that mean to thrive? Like, does that just like fat stacks and, Lambos? Is it, just living your best life?
Actually, it starts with having enough money that you don't have anxiety. Like, it's all well and good to say, oh, you have to, expand and your inner child and explore. You know what? When you have no money and the kids are not eating, it's very survival. So for me, the first thing about thriving is to have enough money to live well enough that you're not worried nonstop day and night like I was, because that eats your life up. So it's really important to have a certain amount of money that you're not worried about it all day long. Does that make sense? Yeah. And then from there, you can thrive in other ways.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. So let's dig into that a little bit. What is it that made you this way? I mean, you did mention that you had times when you didn't have, but is there like a Jeanne from long ago that was a kid on the beach selling ice cream cones or lemonade?
You're really making me laugh because I did sell like watermelon pieces on the beach in Greece once.
How did I know?
How did you know that? Well, I mean, I've had many chapters of my life, and one of my friends said, you do realize that you are the person that I know that has reinvented herself the most times. I said, really? She said, yeah. Like, look at all you've done. So, I started off as a fashion designer, and then I was like, this is not my world. It's too like superficial. And then I went traveling, and then I decided I was going to be an actress. So I was, and, and I had different adventures, and some were good, some were bad. And, and then I lived in Paris for 6 years, and I was, teaching English and doing some acting and voiceover work. And then I was working for a Cordon Bleu chef doing food design. And then I moved to New York to be more serious. And then I got into executive recruiting while I was acting. And then I started making short films and then got married. And then that didn't work. So, now I got to, get some other thing because I got kids and I got to support them. So I started a kids blog and it was really great, but it didn't make enough money. So then I became a coach. So it's kind of been all over the place. But the funny thing was I was in Greece many years ago and I was with some friends and we ran out of money, And I said, what can we do? And I thought, I guess I was always an entrepreneur in some ways. I said, you know what? There's all these people selling ice cream on the beach, but wouldn't it be good if we just cut some watermelon up and walked along the beach? And so we did. And people bought it. They were like, oh, I really want a piece of watermelon because it was boiling hot. And,
oh my God.
But then it wasn't really a sustainable business model because we had to like walk on the beach with these heavy watermelon, but we did make a profit. We thought, okay, that was good. Made a bit of a profit, but, we won't do that again. It was probably not worth it, but it was just, at least we were trying and we did find a way to bring cash in immediately,
Amazing. What is, of all your adventures, what is like one of your favorite go-to stories or maybe even the one that you just don't tell often, but it's that thing that just sits in your brain. You're just like, oh, I'm so glad that happened. Even though it was something.
Well, there's a lot. But I think just being in Paris was incredible, even though I had no money and I was this like starving artist living in a garret like Mimi and La Boheme because I also studied classical singing. And, it was sort of like a romantic for a while to have no money and then it wasn't, at all. But I was sort of like, I thought, gee, I'm probably one of few self-imposed impoverished people. I mean, there were times where I had no money. I mean, I had no money and I was not going to go back home. So, I don't know. I met a lot of artists and writers and it was a very beautiful time because I met very interesting people and I was, went to interesting parties. And so I wouldn't give that up for anything. I wasn't in like money making mode at all. It was more like survival and a lot of I did scrape together like teaching gigs. And so it was definitely on the edge. But somehow, and it wasn't like easy, but it was a time where not many people have experienced that are from, another country and just deciding to live like that and like be an artist. I guess I was sort of like, oh, I'm this starving artist. I did buy into that. And it wasn't fun all the time, but it was definitely an experience. And at one point I was telling my kids, at one point when I was in Paris, people just gave me free stuff like all the time. Like I was given a free room to be in because my friend's mother loved me and she was an artist. She goes, oh, give her that room. And so I didn't pay rent for a year and a half and I would go down. There was no water in there though. So I had to, walk like 15 feet to use the WC and it was cold. But then my friend, I could go downstairs and take a shower I had a key. I could go take a shower in her apartment every morning. And so I'd sneak, I'd quietly go in. And then, the local, movie houses, they knew me and they would just say, let me in for free. And then I would go to this very nice French sort of like bar restaurant around the corner. And I would go in there and the guy he had just started giving me free drinks, like whenever I walked in. And then every now and then it's like, here, have this, and then I would go to the markets and this guy would give me fresh pasta. And it's not like I asked for it. They're like, here, maybe I looked poor. I don't know.
Starving artist.
Or because I had a foreign accent and they thought that was cute. But at one point I thought, wow, I mean, I just get a lot of free stuff without even asking here. It's funny.
What is the one gift that you think artists and the arts bring to the world? The thing that's most tangible?
Well, I mean, at one point I clearly remember before we had, cell phones. A couple of people had cell phones, but before it was so easy, there's no social media, right? It was, the internet was just starting when I was in Paris, dial-up was just starting. And I remember there was like the first internet cafe and I thought, what is this? And one of my friends said, oh my goodness, you have to see this. And I remember clearly that we spent like half an hour waiting for a photo of Pamela Anderson to load. First of all, I had no interest in seeing a photo of Pamela Anderson load, but I just remember I was thinking, this is painful. And they're like, isn't that amazing? And I'm thinking, I think this is going to have to get a lot better for me to be interested in this, because I was seriously, it had just come out and I was just thinking, this is so slow. Why would anybody sit in a cafe and wait half an hour? Just go buy a magazine, you know?
Yeah.
So, I think what it was, and I was saying, I remember writing a letter to my brother. Remember that? Writing a letter?
That's some old school. Yeah.
And I remember saying, I just live to create. And I was in such a mode of creation and just like, you know, just the money wasn't important. I had to sort of somehow get enough money to eat and, you know, and pay the rent because I had to leave that place eventually. But I remember just being in this mode of just creating was it. And not many people live like that. And I don't live like that now, obviously, because I'm a business person. But that moment of me remembering, that's right. I was in such a creation mode all the time. I was like writing and I was, you know, acting or trying to get jobs or, you know, just doing creative stuff and thinking about creative stuff and all of that. Living, you do neglect the money, but it's kind of an interesting place to be in for a time of your life.
Right. Interesting. Do you still carry that through in your today's life in any way? Like, do you find that joy in any sort of creation? Or is it the thing that you're building now? Is that creation? Like, how's that transported you?
Actually, I realized that everything I did in my life, I could use in my coaching. Also, I paint. You see, there's some paintings in the background, and I try to find. I don't paint a lot, but I try to find some time, and I do find time to sort of just do a little bit. I used to also study singing, so I'm trying to do a little bit of singing. I do feel that I have my brain clicks into a different mode. I can feel it clicking to the other side when I'm doing something creative, and I'm certainly not that hugely creative person that was just creating, which it's fine, but I'm creating other stuff. And so I am very creative in my business in the sense of, okay, what's my new project? And, you know, just the fact that I create videos, they're just me speaking, but the acting comes into it. Sure. But it was hard when I first started because I was myself. And I was like, whoa, this is really hard just talking as myself. So I had to train myself to get over that. Yeah. But then once you get over that, I got over it because I'm sort of an introvert, actually. And I thought this is really hard, actually speaking as myself. And so, yeah, definitely. Because, you know, also I was a designer. So I know what a good website looks like. You know, I'm not going to do it myself, but I certainly know what a good website looks like. And I kind of always wrote a little bit and I was writing a blog. So I can sort of see, without being a copywriter, what bad copy is, you know? So things like that. And I did sort of work a little bit in advertising, not a lot, but I kind of did a little bit of work. So I think all of that, I think also going through studies that teaches you, because I studied fashion design, and studying any kind of design just basically teaches you to have critical thinking about problem solving. Because it's really just problem solving. So I think that really did help in my life because I also have an ability to imagine a space in my mind and exactly what it would look like. And I thought everybody could do that. Okay. And after I thought everybody could do that. And it was only much later in my life, one of my friends said, we can't do that. I said, you can't. They said, no, we'd have to see a photo. I said, you mean you can't just like visualize something and exactly what it's going to look like a room with this and a dress? And they said, no. I said, oh, okay. That's a talent. So
that's interesting.
It's interesting. I think you don't realize that everybody can't do what you do because you just assume that's how people live. Right.
Right. Yeah. What is it to be a knowledge broker?
I love being a knowledge broker because I see people and I don't see dead people. Hopefully, but I see people and I see things in people that they can't see themselves sometimes because people are so busy putting themselves down and not validating their talents and all of that. And, I can't brag, but I can't brag. And so when I talk to somebody and I'm like, well, okay, how could this help somebody else? Oh, we could actually leverage this because you've been doing this your whole life. Kind of like what I just said. They've been doing something their whole life. Don't realize it's a talent. How can we monetize that and help other people? So I love creating offers. And I'm very good at creating offers, actually. It's a story and it's an offer. And I could do that with my eyes closed. So that is one of my genius zones, is creating offers. And I love doing that because you are basically getting something that's already there and creating it like clay. There's something already there. That person is really good at it. They don't realize they're that good at it, or they kind of think so. And then how can we offer that to other people and they pay you? That's a beautiful thing. Everybody wins.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's really cool. I like this. I like this idea of the clay or the uncarved block. And, up here on the, like the West Coast, the Haida Gwaii carve totem poles. And it's not about carving anything into the tree. It's about removing the stuff that isn't,
right,
to reveal what's within.
Well,
right?
that's the Michelangelo thing, that when he was talking about, like when he would do carvings or sculptures from marble, it was just releasing the person inside it. Not that's the same kind of thing.
Yeah. Very cool. What a neat thing to bring to business. And that balance between, a person's ikigai, if you're familiar with that term, that purity of purpose, and how it serves the world.
Well, it really has to be, I mean, I'm learning now that the conversation with my kids a long time ago should have been, what value did you create for other people today? What did you do for other people today? And I'm just coming to that now. And I wish I'd known that earlier, because I'm going to start more with my kids saying, every day, ask yourself, what value did I bring? Not what value did I provide, but what value or help did I bring to another person or people today? I think if you live like that, it's every day you can say, well, I did this for somebody else today. That day was good, right? Yeah.
Made somebody laugh today.
Even that.
Whatever that happens to be. Yeah. Oh, very cool. Are you a seafood person?
Yeah, I like seafood.
Okay. And what's your go-to seafood meal?
It is wild Atlantic salmon.
Interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
I try to only eat wild Atlantic salmon or wild salmon because I'm pretty health conscious, and I think that the farms are disgusting, and there's awful. All that. Ugh. So, every now and then somebody serves me seafood, I will eat it, but I only buy pure seafood.
Nice. That's great. We used to go do some deep sea fishing. I don't do it a lot, but we'd catch 3 or 4 coho salmon, and that would do us for the year. Those things are huge.
Oh wow, I love coho salmon.
Yeah, so good. So you're busy walking around the bay. Here you are. Jean is cruising along. Maybe you've got an iPod, earbuds in. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're just enjoying.
I have Ray-Ban Metas.
Oh, yeah. I will ask about those in a minute.
Yeah.
So there you go. Ray-Ban metaing around the bay, and you're thinking to yourself, I'm just going to paint the picture. It's a couple of white fluffy clouds. There's some seagulls maybe cruising around. It's just warm on your skin, nice and humid. And you're thinking to yourself, I wish the world knew this one thing. What would that one thing be?
The one thing would be that you are worthy and ready right now. There's no waiting. There's no fixing. There's no when I'm this or when I'm that, because life just is going to keep going, and it's just going to keep going. And there's no readiness. We're never ready for anything. Stop trying to be ready. You're never going to be ready. So just go with the flow, and you're worthy and ready right now. The moment is now, and there's going to be no other time like right now. And now it's gone. That was a second ago. So time gallops along. Are you going to just be waiting like all these people that their lives passed them by because they were not ready? And then on your deathbed, I'm going to go there. On your deathbed, you're like, wow, maybe I should have just done what I wanted to do to be more fulfilled.
Yeah, so true. So true. Where's the one place in the world that you haven't been that you are desperate to get to?
Japan.
Okay. All right. And it seems fairly obvious, but why?
Well, I've never been there. And one of my daughters is a Japanophile. She, of her own accord, just started learning Japanese. So we did more, doing more research. And the funny thing is many, many, many years ago when I was like 12, I did a project about Japan. So I'd chosen that years ago. Yeah, I'm pretty fascinated. And I also have a friend in Japan. And I've known her for years and we've never visited. And it's just one of the places I've been to a lot of places. And I thought, there's other places, but Japan, I just went to Dubai for the first time and I really wanted to go there. So that's done. But no, Japan, why haven't I gone to Japan? I want to go to Japan.
Yeah. Will you go during cherry blossom?
That's exactly. You are reading my mind here. I was thinking it'd be great to go during cherry blossom time. You just have to plan that properly, right? Also, that's a good time because it's not too hot. I think it's April, something like that. So it just has to be planned. But yeah, I want to take my 2 daughters to go to Japan. There's other places, of course, but that's the first one that popped to mind.
Yeah, that's really cool. I've been there once, but only in the airport on the way to other places. And I will tell you that the food in the airport was outstanding. Mm-hmm. And the bathrooms were incredible.
And clean, right?
Yeah. If we could just, and the airplanes, like the Asian airlines, like I think we were on Air Nippon. Mm-hmm. And why don't we fly like that here? Like,
I don't know.
What are we doing?
I don't know, but Emirates Air was amazing. It was like the old airlines where they give you the kids get the toys and all sorts of stuff. But I must say Dubai is extremely clean and I had no problems with that. Very clean.
Yeah.
You could probably
what took you to
off
Dubai?
The floor.
What took you to Dubai?
I was actually there it was mainly business. I have a very high-end offer. So I was meeting with an investment bank and some other good connections to get connected about my high-end offer for top-level CEOs.
Right.
And then some fun, of course. I did a little bit of tourism. I went to Abu Dhabi with a friend and I met some cool people. I went wakeboarding for the very first time and I actually wakeboarded. I actually got up and wakeboarded. And they said of the hundreds of people that have gone on, you're the only person that's learned how to do this in one session. I was very proud of myself.
Yeah, hell yeah. Oh my God. Wakeboarding in Dubai. What the hell? Oh, that's so cool. If you could have one wish, is it both 2 daughters?
Yes.
What would be your wish for your daughters?
Well, that they're good people and that they keep the faith, that they keep their spirituality and practice it, and that they are fulfilled and that they find their purpose. Maybe even more than one purpose, but that they find their way, they stay rooted in faith, and that they, are just good people.
Oh, that's nice. That's lovely. Do you? What's a guilty pleasure for you? Like, what do you do just for you?
Well, I love eating, so I really like. Yeah, I'm on this sort of real health kick right now, where I've done all sorts of very advanced testing. I'm taking all sorts of stuff. I cut out sugar, except for sometimes I really like sugar, but I'm really trying. I love cycling. So I cycle. I love walking. And you're right. I do walk. Like every morning I walk. Nice. And I like things like zip lining and I like adventurous things. So I loved the wakeboarding for that. But I mean, really it's just being active and eating good food.
Nice.
And also I do like, I like Korean dramas.
That's it. You are the second person that has mentioned Korean dramas.
I love Korean dramas. I just think some of the acting is really great. Some of it's really bad. They're usually pretty funny and they're really nice and tame. It's, they're sweet most of the time. Not all of them, right. But, I like the humor.
Amazing. Would you rather read a book or binge a Netflix show?
I like both. I do a lot of listening to reading now. Because I'm reading all day business stuff. And I got to say, I haven't really read a nonfiction book or a fiction book, sorry.
Yeah.
In a long time. So I'm in a book club but I've never read any of the choices. We just get together with my college friends on Zoom, and I'm the worst book club member ever. I've not read one of the selections. It's more just to hang out with my friends. It's kind of a joke in the group that, has Jeanne read the book? No, I haven't had time. So maybe one day I will read the actual fiction pick of my book club. So yeah, I guess probably maybe watching Netflix after a packed day. I never, ever, ever watched media for a long time, but I felt like it did help me to unwind and get your mind off stuff. So I see value in watching some media just to relax.
Yeah. Have you ever gone scuba diving?
No, I have not.
Oh, interesting. I think that you'd like that.
Maybe if it's not cave diving.
Oh God, no.
No. So dangerous.
Nope. Just some freewheeling scuba diving adventure for you. It's a different world.
I do love water, actually. I love swimming, and I grew up in Australia. So I do love anything to do with water. That's true.
Love it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Okay. Man, this was so much fun. Okay. Well, just one more weird ass question. Your favorite junk food, the thing that it's your soul food. Fried chicken, pizza with pineapple on it, ice cream, sorbet.
Well, I love ice cream. That is true. Ice cream is one of my weaknesses. I like sweet, and I just like all food. Let's face it, I like savory and I like sweet, but I do have a real sweet tooth. I'm kind of sick of pizza now, to be honest. I don't know if I have a go-to junk food, to be honest. I'm not like, I just have to have that. I do like things that have cheese in them, though. Yeah.
Cheese is a solid food choice. Any cheese, really.
Actually, any cheese. I love cheese.
Yeah, cheese is good. Oh boy, where can people find you?
They can find me all over, because I'm just all over the place. So you can find me on my website, which is JeanneOmlor.com, JeanneOmlor.com. I'm sure you're going to have that. They can find me. I make things so simple. It's just my name on Instagram, my name on LinkedIn, my name on Facebook. My name is email, JeanneOmlor@gmail.com. Just send me nice notes, not bad ones. Don't spam me.
Nice. I love that, because so few people stand behind their name, and they like to, paint a different picture than. I like that. I appreciate that.
It was just easy.
Yeah. And there's that too.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So there's these people in the world, and they are, maybe they're a CEO that is about to embark on something exciting and new for them. They're not sure how to do it. They could be a rebel in waiting. Sometimes it's people who have never done anything crazy at all, like travel to Paris and lived as an artist. Or it's a single mom who's about to, break out into, her own truth about, what she's going to do with her kids and herself. She's a rebel in waiting. For these rebels in waiting, what advice would you have to help them take that next step?
Just get out of your fear. We all have fear. Emotions are what are keeping so many people from their dreams. Emotions like fear, anxiety, doubt, et cetera, et cetera. All of this is not good stuff. It's not virtuous. It's not virtuous to think things over and over. That's just not virtuous. That's just fear. And I think that we've got to stop framing fear as something virtuous. Like, I'm a person that thinks things through. We all think things through, unless we're complete idiots, right? So I would say get out of your fear and stop padding the fear with something that sounds like it's that you're just smarter or more reasonable than other people. That's what's killing you. So decide, what is it you truly desire? Really get clear. What do I really desire when nobody's watching, nobody's listening, and nobody's judging? Like, 5 years ago, I woke up one morning and I thought, I'm in deep debt, single mom. What do I want to be a success again. I mean, I was never a huge success, but I wasn't so deep in all that. And I thought, okay, if not now, when?
Yeah.
I thought, well, if not now, great question, Jeanne. You got to do this now. And it's hard because it's climbing this steep cliff, right? I had to learn new knowledge. And the back of my head, there's some thought was like, yeah, because weren't you supposed to be that really successful $1 million coach? Like a little kernel of belief. So I would say, pull the kernel of belief from the back of your thoughts to the forefront and say, okay, this is what I really want. I'm going to decide I will create this. I will get this. Now what do I do? And just do it. And don't negotiate with all of that. Just say, I'm doing it. I'm going to get past it and get help. Get help from somebody that has done exactly what you want to do, because they can show you the way.
Do you, just to jump onto that, the coattails of that, do you find that successful people want to help other people be successful?
They do, but you're going to have to pay them most of the time. Okay. Yeah. So, and that was what I was going to say, is pay those people, because those people have very packed lives, and the more money you make, the more each minute is worth in dollars. That's just a fact. Yeah. So somebody that's making multi millions, they can't just help a bunch of people. They do mentor people. I know that here and there, but that's the thing. Why are we going towards, I want to get it for free? You shouldn't. Right. No, just get it anyway, free or not. Like now you're waiting for free. Oh, that means you're only going to get help if you don't have to pay. So you're not investing in yourself. So you're still not doing whatever it takes. You're still like, well, I'm only going to get that if it's free. Why? Why should people give you free stuff when you want to create something where people pay you? Be congruent. There's a lot of lack of congruence out there. You'd be, surprised. And people aren't thinking it through. Well, hang on. You want to create something where people pay you, but you don't want to pay other people. That's never going to work. Like, get congruent, and don't be cheap with yourself, because you are being cheap with yourself if you are not investing in knowledge and becoming knowledgeable, whatever that looks like, to create what it is that you say you really want. So just decide, figure it out, and get help. That's my word.
Love it. Jeanne, this has been outstanding. And what a way to spend time. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh, you're so welcome. It's a pleasure.
Bam. Just like that.
Great.
That's how we roll.
That was good. You asked a lot of questions that got me talking about stuff I never even mentioned, like the Paris and the fish, and that I don't eat bad fish, and we kind of went all around the globe there. That was good.
Yeah. Well, it's questions that pop into my head when I am connected with somebody. I'm just curious about what it is that makes you tick.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so people haven't heard that Paris thing in a while, so that's good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wicked. Well, this will be out later January.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you know when it comes out and give you all the stuff to promote it.
Great. Awesome.
Really appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Now, what do you do, by the way? Are you a coach or consultant?
I own a creative agency called Make More Creative. And I help companies with their branding. I just wrote a book that comes out April 2025 called Brand Jitsu, Move Your Brand from Meh to Memorable.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Interesting. And were you like from a marketing and advertising background?
Yeah, kind of. I was a communications director back in 2006 for a multinational market research company. And then we sold to a company in North Carolina, and I got packaged out, which was awesome. I spent a year teaching at university at the communications faculty, and then I started my own thing. And just the process that I use to help people figure out their brand is what I wrote the book on.
Oh, wow. Interesting. When did you start that all?
The book?
No, the company.
2007.
Oh, a long time you've been doing this.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then the podcast came along as it was an itch to scratch. I was curious about how it worked. This was back in 2017, I guess. And, I had like a bunch of really weird ass people I hung out with, like, captains of industry and all the rest of it. And I'm just like, I just got curious about what it is that they did and why, like what fucked them up in their life. That made them this way.
Yeah. We've all been, well, if you're at a certain age, you've been through a lot. So do you, work with a lot of like top CEOs?
I don't know
high level.
Yeah, I mean, I work at C-suite level. Typically, what happens is I do. Sorry, if you're talking.
No, go on. Keep going. Sorry, there's a bit of a delay.
I do a 2-day session with. Typically, it's a CEO and COO on day one, which is to figure out their brand DNA. because they're kind of the founders of the company, the people that are growing it from the nucleus.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second day we bring in the rest of their leadership team to get them to basically bring them into alignment.
Mm-hmm.
And then we know we've got basically a brand playbook at the end of it. I don't have one handy kicking around here, but it's basically, it's a formula for how they then roll out their brand to the different pieces of the puzzle.
Got it. Okay. So the reason I asked is I'll show you this. The reason why I was in Dubai was I was actually meeting with an Italian billionaire. I left that part out, and he owns the investment bank. And I have I'll just show it to you.
Yeah.
And you're a brander. So I actually showed this to an ex advertising agency guy, well-known guy, actually, the other day. And he said, this is excellent. I just need to put a little bio at the end. I was told by somebody else, but I have a $250K offer for,
nice.
And it's, you get an idea. I'll just send this to you. And oops, that didn't work. And I give a 20% finder's fee for the first 2, and then it goes to 10. Or
nice.
If you know somebody that knows somebody, then you would get 10, and then your partner would get 10. So it's $250K. So if you set me up, and they have to be wealthy enough that, $250K doesn't make them sweat. It's a $50K commission. It's not shabby, right? And for the first 2, it's $50K. And after that, it's 10. But then if there's somebody else involved, then you both get 10. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, I guess so.
So you either split the 20, or it's just you for the first 2. And then after that, it's either 10. But if somebody else involved, then I do pay 20 because it's 10. I just want everybody to get at least 10%. So
nice.
Do you know anybody that could be a good fit for off the top of your head?
Maybe. I'd love to see the offer.
It's right there. I put it in the chat.
Oh.
Yeah, I did it so that people are busy. But I do need to put a small, I spoke with a new colleague. She's the top Saudi Arabian coach, and she does exactly what I'm doing. And she said, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I do. And she said, Jeanne, I don't even want any more clients. I want to pass them on to you.
Awesome.
Almost. And she said, what we need though, is we need a small little bio. And I thought, she's right. That was missing. So, so yeah, she funny. She goes, I do exactly what you do, but she goes, I don't even want more clients because she's also a COO. And she said, I don't have time to do too many more clients. So that's the deal. It's basically everything is fixed. If they have leadership, because I'm a leadership coach as well, if they have some, sales or business or life or purpose, or we need to bring in other people because they need an expert that's going to help them stop drinking or quit having all the affairs they're having, pay them off. Or whatever it is, and find their life purpose. So for instance, I'll give you an example. The CEOs, like with the investment bank, they know they have to offer coaching, and they're like, we don't offer this. And I said, well, everybody does. And they said, good, elite coaching. It would be like, and they agreed. They said, you're right. A lot of these are like rich children. Like they want me to manage, so why are they like that? So what's their purpose? What are they going to do with their money? Because clearly they're not happy if they're acting like brats, right? But then there was like another case. I just spoke with this guy today. He was a Wall Street guy, fell from grace, became a heroin addict, came back up, and now he's, back on track. And he said, oh my gosh, I wish I knew about you, because one of my buddies in AA came up to me and said, hey, Ryan, buddy, bro, I'm going to pay you $1 million. Just fix me. And Ryan goes, hey, bro, I'm just trying to fix myself. He's like, no. He said, that was like 2 years ago. And he said, oh my gosh, I wish I'd known you, because he would like the referral fee. So the guy went and bought an island. I said,
oh my God.
I said, so now he's on an island and lost on the island. He said, yep, pretty much.
Oh
so it's God. It's that they finish the work, and then there's a shell of a human being. It's like that was their identity. Or they have leadership, wife issues, life issues, you name it. So that's kind of, it's a fix. Whatever it is they need, we fix, and I'll bring other people on if they need it,
Oh, very nice.
So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Let me think about it.
Yeah, think about it. Could be worth the, because I only do this by appointment only, and that's it. I don't advertise this, obviously. It's just, and that's a hidden page on my website, because I don't want to confuse the marketing.
Yeah. Awesome. Smart.
Cool. No, it's great to meet you.
Yeah, you as well.
Yeah, keep in touch. Let me know. If you want to get on another chat, just chat, let me know.
I will certainly do so.
Awesome. Okay. You have a beautiful Christmas and New Year. And also have a happy Boxing Day, because I grew up in Australia. You have Boxing Day in Canada, right?
I sure do.
You know, I really liked the Boxing Day holiday. I always take the day off after Christmas as a Boxing Day extra day.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Cool.
Those are the 2 days I'll take off this year, probably.
Well, yeah, no, but I would make sure I take at least 2 for Christmas, and I like my Boxing Day. Well, listen, it's great to meet you, and I'll see you soon, maybe.
All right. Thanks so much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode. Hey, if you're an artist, scientist, entrepreneur, or business owner who wants a smooth and proven method to find, shape, and share your story with the world, head on over to brandjitsu.com and order a copy of my book, Brand Jitsu, Move Your Brand from Meh to Memorable. I've been your host, Michael Dargie, and this has been the RebelRebel podcast. It's a podcast for creative rebels and entrepreneurs all over the world. And hey, if you're a rebel or you know a rebel, head on over to the RebelRebelPodcast.com and fill out the guest request form. Thanks so much for listening. Until next time.